It's Sunday, August 14th at 9:05 a.m. and the dogs and I are walking east from Perth Road on the Cataraqui Trail. It's partly cloudy, partly sunny and 20 degrees. And I'm not sure how far we're going to go, but we haven't been along this trail for a while, so just wanted to come along and see what birds we can see and fall plants in bloom, any insects of interest. I'd been purposefully avoiding this section of trail during the midsummer months because of the threat of large amounts of deer flies and mosquitoes. Things have been calming down a bit to the west of here, so I thought now might be a good time to come and try this trail, and so far so good. We've got a few deer flies and a few mosquitoes, but nothing major, so I think today's going to be good. Just coming up this little gravel hill which leads us to a Pinnacon road at the top here. I have to make sure the dogs are fully under control when I come out here because it can be quite a busy road. The white water lilies are out in full bloom here in this little pond along the trail. Well, the beautiful day continues. It's about 25 degrees centigrade now, and when the sun comes out and hits you on the skin, you can really feel the burn. You can see a wide swath of purple out there. That's all purple loosestrife. That's the invasive plant from Europe that has infiltrated many of the wetlands in eastern Ontario. Again, I believe they have some control over it now a bit with a beetle they've released that eats it. But all is not negative. The plant does produce a lot of nectaring opportunities for various insects and butterflies. Well, it's 10:12 and we're over an hour in now on our hike, and I still haven't passed one single person, either walking, cycling, or horseback riding or anything. Amazing on a Sunday. You'd think there'd be quite a few people out here, but maybe that'll change. It's beautiful. The bugs aren't bad at all. Had a few bites, but nothing major at all. Got the swallowtail, and the female indigo bunting is upset with me because she's trying to feed her young here. Here's another grouping of a non-native plant, bouncing bet. It's actually quite pretty and doesn't really cause much harm in the natural environment. It grows mainly along roadsides and waste places. This is a nice scene here with the Joe Pye weed, sort of a silvery pink color in front of the purple loosestrife, forming a band along the little trailside ditch here. and the granite rocks in the background. It's recognized at this time of the summer with its big umbels of pinkish flower heads at the top of the plant. And then down the stem it has leaves that occur in whorls, or they all come out of a similar spot. You can see here's a group of leaves, and then you go a few more inches and there's another group of 5 leaves, and another group and another. So these are whorled leaves, what are known as whorled leaves. And this is the big umbel of pink flowers at the top of the plant. The jewelweed, which is just coming into bloom, is living up to its name right now. You can see water drops all over the plant, making it look like jewels for sure. This is also called spotted touch-me-not. Well, it's 10:42 and I've been walking for an hour and 42 minutes now, and we've done about 5.5 kilometers to this point. So we'll go further and see how far we get before we feel like turning around. I was actually hoping to get down to that Garter Lake again, that beautiful long linear lake that parallels the trail. It's just a gorgeous view down there, but we're looking at another 4 kilometers probably to get there, which will mean about a 20-kilometer round trip. So I'm not sure I'm going to make it there or not. What I've always loved about settings like this is that if you use your imagination a little, you can almost feel like you're back in the 1800s or something. And you could imagine a horse-drawn carriage coming along this trail, and maybe there'd be some cowboys driving it. Maybe a covered wagon even cruising along here. You can hear the clip-clop of the horse's hooves. And then I try to transport myself back to that moment in time. Ask myself, what would I be doing tonight if I was living back then? I guess I might be walking down this trail to get to the local store 10 kilometers away to get some rice and flour for my mother. Or maybe I'm going down here to get new shoes for the horses or something. Just neat to think about that. So in essence, these trails are like trails in time, because with a little thought, you can imagine yourself almost at any time in the history of the earth. Wow, this trek to town seems to be getting longer each time I do it. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do this trek, especially in those winter months when we have 2 feet of snow on the ground. Old Bessie Sue better start making other arrangements. I can't keep going here for a few cans of beans and a bit of cloth and a bit of flour every month. This just gets to be too much for the old bones. Old Bessie Sue better come to realize that. Hang on there. Take it easy there, little one. Take it easy. I don't think there's any grizzlies up ahead, is there? Do you have a grizzly on the trail there, little one? Now, coming into this section of trail, I always get scared. I really feel scared, for I remember what happened here. I remember that day, that fateful day in 1851, when big old Ross Beardworthy came down here on his horse. Well, I dare say legend has it that he was coming through here on his horse, and before he even knew it, he was done plucked off the horse by a mountain lion and tossed off into the ditch, and the horse ran off, and that was the end of poor old Russ Beardworthy. Plucked off his horse by a mountain lion. My child, that's why I'm always nervous coming through here. And look at some of these holes in the cliff here. Like I could see a mountain lion living in there probably. I bet you there's a mountain lion looking down on us right now from up on that ledge. I wouldn't doubt it. Well, it's 11:12 and we've been walking for 2 hours and 12 minutes and we've done 7.2 kilometers. So I'm just going to take a little set down here at Stonehouse Lake. A little bit of a rest if I can get Zoe untangled. Nice to take a little break. So it's been a really nice hike. The day is warming up. It's supposed to go up to 27, I think, or somewhere around there. So it is warming up, almost heading towards noon. Well, it's 11:42. We've been walking for 2 hours and 42 minutes. And we've just done 9 kilometers to reach the western boundary, or the western shore of Garter Lake. So I made it, although to see the lake in its splendor, you almost have to walk another kilometer. So I guess that's where we get the 10 kilometers I was remembering. You have to get up here a ways to see it in its true glory. So now that I've come this far, I might as well do it. I'll probably pay the price going back with my degenerating skeleton, but sometimes you have to push through the pain and the agony to get to see glorious things. And that's what we're doing here today. I just hope I'm not pushing Luna too hard. Zoe could go on and on and on, but Luna has a bit of extra weight, and but luckily we have water here and there that they can go in and drink, so in some ways they're in a better situation than I am. And what do we have here? Oh, nice. A nice little baby eastern milk snake out on the trail. Luckily hasn't been run over by anybody. Quite a feisty little character, only about 12 inches long or so. Beautifully marked. I tried to pick it up a couple times, but he was pretty reticent to be touched, so I left him alone other than to shove him off the trail a bit so he wouldn't get run over. Beautiful. Whenever I see a young snake like that on the trail, I just realize how many must get run over by bicycles or people walking even, because I barely saw that before I was right on top of it. It's only about 10 inches long and fairly camouflaged with the rocks and stuff, so on a bicycle you wouldn't really stand much chance of seeing that to avoid it, even if you wanted to. So they're fairly vulnerable if they're out on this trail at all. So here's the beautiful Garter Lake long linear lake set right beside the trail here. And I guess the feeling I get is that I'm far up north somewhere. It just gives you that feeling, which is why I like it so much, I guess. Luna's heading down the trail. She's getting hot. A few more deer flies out now. I guess the heat of the day has brought them out. Just a beautiful setting. But I think I'm going to turn around now. We've gone 9.6 kilometers, so that's enough for me. So almost 3 hours now to get here, so we're going to head back. I think we'll get back probably in 2.5 hours or less, because I'm going to be going at a quicker pace. Won't be looking at so many things to get pictures and videos of. Just going to take this little side trail down to the Rideau Trail. And just down the hill here, there's a nice little creek. The dogs are really hot, so I want to get them some water. Go, let's go. Come here, Zoe. Get you off your leash. Oh, here's a nice little garter snake. Sunning in the rocks. Oh. Zoe, come here. She's not very patient. Come here. Come here, Zoe. I want to take, here, come here. I want to get this leash off you. Come here. Okay, there you go. They're really hot. This is a nice little clear stream that comes out of Garter Lake. Just had a couple large female white-tailed deer jump across the trail here in front of us. Not far ahead, just 50 feet or so. Hello. Well, 12:32 and we're back to Stonehouse Lake. Luckily we're getting some increased cloud cover right now, which cools down the hike quite a bit. When you're out in that direct sun, it gets really hot. And Luna's feeling the heat pretty badly. I shouldn't have come this far probably, but as soon as I can, we'll get her into some water where she can immerse her whole body, and that helps a lot. That little creek we were at, it was very shallow, and she doesn't lay down in it like Zoe does, so she only got her feet wet and managed to get a drink, so that at least was something, but she needs to get her whole body immersed. Pickerel weed is in bloom down here in the ditch. So just coming up to 1 o'clock here, and we're back at McGillivray Road. So I think from here it was 5.2 kilometers or something back. So we've almost gone halfway back from our furthest extent at Garter Lake. And luckily, as I mentioned before, there's a fair amount of cloud cover, so we get periodic sunny breaks, but a lot of it's cloudy covered, which is good, because when the sun comes fully out, it's very hot on the skin. The marsh thistles have gone to seed. The other day I was blowing some of these at our house, and they went up really high, really easily. There was just the right convective conditions, I guess. Go spread yourselves. Luna's made a little nest in the plants here. Oh boy, this is getting to be a long walk. The sun came out again and we've just come through some wide open areas, so the skin was starting to feel burnt a bit, but we're in a fairly long shady stretch here, so thought I'd do a little bit of a clip. What's the time getting to be here now? 1:43, so yeah, I'd say we're within probably 2.5 kilometers now of the end. So we're cruising along. Okay, 2:04, and we're on the final stretch. Probably the last half a kilometer roughly. I can see the highway up ahead with the cars going by. So not too far now. Anyhow, I think I'll sign off on this video and just say hope you enjoyed it. It's a beautiful section if you've never seen it. If you're in the local area, try to get out and walk it sometime if you can, or sections of it. Finishing time, Sunday, August 14th, 2:11 p.m. Just coming out to Perth Road.